Hello Voyagers, this is Zeeebo and welcome back to yet another Sword of Convallaria video. So in today's Sword of Convallaria video, we're going to run through a unit review and we're going to do it for one of the, if not the most popular unit in the game, Beryl, right? So she has an exclusive costume as well as being one of the most sought after reroll targets together with Gloria and Co. She is probably one of the units that most of you guys want to figure out how to properly build up. So in today's video, we're going to run through her skills build, her optimal equipments, as well as tarot residuals, and lastly do a review of why she's a good unit as a whole or why she's the best unit for quite a while together with Gloria and the gang. So first of all, before I start today's review, if you guys see some Chinese words on screen, as you guys can see right here, is because this guy is done by a veteran CM player who has been playing the game for quite a bit. He has quite a few unit reviews for multiple commonly used characters, which we will be extracting and then presenting in our videos in the next few days or even few weeks, depending on the demand on the units that you guys want to see. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys want to see next, right? I have some comments stating that they want to see Dental Iron. There are some people talking about Coal, so these two units will be on the list or the agenda for the next few days. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let us start with the unit analysis or the stats analysis. So when we take a look at her stats distribution, right, the picture below showcases her stats at level 60 within the game itself, and then the picture on top showcases the stats distribution together with the ranking for the stats. So she's number 1 for magical attack and number 4 for magical defense. Pretty mediocre in terms of the physical side because her physical is 1115, which is not ranked because we don't rely on her physical attack, but her physical defense is 449, which is 30th, and her HP is 3239, which is 28. And in terms of her speed itself, is only 122 at level 60, which is quite low, rank 44. So in general, her main strength lies in her magical side of things, right? Her magical attack as well as magical defense. But right, these two main strength combined with her skill kit is more than enough to push her to a T0 character. So that's why if you take a look at the pentagon of distribution, she's top tier in terms of DPS, top tier in terms of general content pushing, and top tier in terms of boss battle. So not that good in terms of surviving as well as supporting, because I think in terms of Beryl's case, I think you kind of want to make her like this glass cannony Mage character, although she has some supportive skill in her kit which could be helpful in supporting your team in one way or another, even though it's not like her main role in the team. So with that, let us move on to the skill recommendation. So rank 1 Wall of Flame, obviously, because she has an insanely powerful single target skill, which is Choo Choo Choo, right, which is the laser which attacks 3 times. So this Wall of Flame is to supplement for her single target skill. So when you have a lot of enemies that you need to deal with, then the AoE Wall of Flame will be your better choice. If not, you can use the single target Choo Choo Choo, which offers a really high, I'll say, single target magical burst damage. So this is for the earlier stages of the game. So the additional note on the right hand side, it states that the casual search is actually decently helpful in offering occasional freezes and heal, which can be useful for certain situations. If you need to control the enemy by freezing them, if you need some sustain for Beryl to just keep her healthy for a little bit more, then this second skill to the right is also okay as a skill to add. But in general, the left side will be the recommended path, which is the Wall of Flame skill. Next, we talk about rank 3. Rank 3 has no argument. NRG or energy restoration is the way to go, because this is the skill that gives her the energy to spam her skills continuously. So if you guys have a Beryl in your team and you guys have been using her a lot, you guys will realize that almost every single round she has little to no energy problem at all. That is because of her skill as well as this rank 3 skill over here, which gives her the ability to regenerate energy on her own. And then when we talk about rank 5, it's QD. So QD is basically a skill which increases her survivability, because her overall defenses is not exactly the best. She's also not the fastest character, so being able to take a little bit of damage or have a passive that helps her tanks a little bit better is actually a pretty good skill to have. So that's why rank 5 we are going for QD instead of the damage side. And then for rank 7 we have Try This. So this is the supportive skill for the team. It's an insane heal with energy restoration in case you need additional heals for your team. So right now, in case you guys are still not at the mid game or in the late game itself, you will actually have teams where you have only one healer and you have a tank with some supportive skill. So if your carry, for example, like Beryl in this case, has this heal in the team, then you have a third source of restoration for your team to keep your team going in long drawn out fights itself. So that's a rank 7, it's recommended to try this, but personal preference, right? So for me, if I'm building Beryl to be a more heavily DPS character, then I will probably go to the left skill for the rank 7 skill itself to give her more damage over there. So this is indeed personal preference, but based on the recommendation, the author recommended try this for more utility, for more like energy restoration, because energy restoration allows her to actually use her 3-star skill consistently, as well as give your ally the energy support for the team itself. So I guess it's fair, right? Rank 7 is really dependent on how you build your team as well as your unit. So personally, I say you can go for the left side, but the author recommended the right side, which is try this skill. So for rank 9, no argument for that, is definitely Scorching Attack, because this is a even higher burn number as well as a more higher damage percentage, so more consistent damage source, which could replace the Wall of Flame to a certain extent depending on the situation itself. Then for rank 11, right, it's definitely Boom. So for Boom itself, it's an AoE skill. For Scorching Attack, it's a single target skill, so your late game damage will probably be skill 9 and skill 11 for the late game burning as well as AoE damage potential. Okay, so that's it for all the skills recommendation by the author. Right here, I'm going to run through how the late game skills for your character will look like, or for your Beryl will look like. So if we take a look at the late game tiers itself, we have Boom being skill 2, right? And then Scorching Attack, it's actually a normal attack. So the other skill in the rank 9 path is also a normal attack, so this one causes a stun. And for rank 7 is an active skill, so this will be skill 3. So skill 2, skill 3, normal attack. This is a passive, or this is a reaction skill, so this will be on your skill 1 slot. And then energy restoration will be also in the active, so this will be in the skill 4 slot itself. So right here, normal attack, skill 1, skill 2, skill 3 with your reaction skill over here. So that's how the late game will look like. However, you can obviously switch things out for different skills. For example, if you don't need that much heal or energy restoration for the team, then you can take out skill 7, right? You can put in your casual search, or even use the Wall of Flame for additional DPS. So that's one thing you can consider when you are using Beryl itself. Pretty good character. And then next, let's take a look at the end game weapons as well as the Tarot residuals. So for the end game weapons itself, I don't have a test account. I don't have all the max out equipments, nor the equipments to show you guys what each equipment can do. But if you do get this rainbow color UR weapons itself, these are the recommended end game weapons for her. And then for the SR tier, right, as usual, the bottom, this bottle over here, this green bottle offers HP regen, which is really good for additional survival. And then this purple evil eye thing offers additional magical attack, which helps Beryl do more damage from there. So this is the F2P friendly option as well as the early mid game option for most people right now. So in terms of the Terra residuals, if this is your first time seeing it, this is your last slot in your equipment slot. So these are the top few recommended Terra residuals: Dream of the Magician, as well as Majesty of the Emperor, and the Rays of Suns for additional damage. For the Dream of Magician, I think it's way more stable. So if you have it and you have good stats on this, then definitely use Dream of the Magician. So for Terra residuals itself, is actually topic that's worthy of its own topic, which I'll probably release later as I just unlock it. So stay tuned for this Tarot residual guide itself. So that's for the recommendation. So Dream of Magician, Majesty of the Emperor, as well as Rays of Sun will be the best base, and then from there you roll for the best stats for her. So that's for this equipment. And then next, let's talk about the trait analysis. Let me just shift this down a little bit. So there's nothing, I'll say, much to talk about it, because it's not as complicated as Gloria's trait. It's a very simple magical attack buff with the ability to self buff, and all these are the buffs available to her. And based on the different numbers itself, magical attack increases by 8%, 12%, 16%, followed by 25% at level 4. So at level 4, it gives a 25% magic boost as well as an 80% chance to get the additional buff, which is, I'll say, more than sufficient for most people. So if you're somebody who is highly efficient, portion, you want to like go for the most efficient builds on her and then use your additional resources or your daily shards resources to farm for other characters, then 4-star would be more than sufficient for Beryl. Obviously, if you want to max her out to get best stats on her as well as the highest damage output, then push her to 5-star. So that's for the trait analysis portion. And lastly, for the final review portion, I think there's I'll say like not much deep analysis, because based on stat itself, based on her skill set as well as her skills, inbuilt energy restoration ability, she's basically a very spammy high damage mage that can burn enemies, and burning is a thing which you can use to cheese your enemy, because you can burn them and then run away and then they will continuously take to the flame burning damage itself. So that's something that Beryl can do and can abuse, which makes her the strongest DPS at the start of the game. So that's pretty much it, a very simple unit review for Beryl. Let me know down in the comment section below which unit you guys want to see next, right? I have Dandelion as well as Cole in the next few days coming up. Let me know if there are other highly demanded units, then I'll work on them first. And do remember to like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!